So this is International Management Consulting Program, and it's being delivered by the Integrated Institute of Professional Management for the Chartered Institute of Management Consultants, USA. So I'm going to do something very briefly, and what I'm going to do is that we are going to go to CIMC website so that we'll see what they are expecting us to do as to content. And then we'll now look at our timetable and find out whether we are on the same content or not. All right, so I'm going to take a little digression and then we go to CIMC website. Just a moment. So we'll look at what we have there and then we'll come back to our own content, as it were. Well, remember what I said earlier, more of what we're going to do here is facilitation, not necessarily about teaching. So questions will be very, very helpful. Okay, questions will be very, very. So I'm taking us to CIMC website right now, and I would like us to see the things that are expected from us. Okay. So that's the CIMC website. If you want to get to the website, just go to cimcglobal.org. All right. So as regarding the program, Chartered Management Consultant, let's see what they want us to do. So this is the program module. Now, if you were to do this program directly from CIMC, you would have been paying 456 euros for just the training, not the certification. So in this, you will be taking about 13 modules. So we'll be looking at the business environment, fundamentals of administrative management, HR management, performance management, managing finances, managing resources, effective marketing, business communication and report writing, time, stress, and crisis management, how to assess, manage, and monitor risks, the building and maintaining effective customer relations, the team management, and starting a small business, starting your own consulting business. So these are the things that CIMC expect from us. But to this, we've also added other components to help us get more grounded in this course. So while CIMC is proposing about 13 courses, we are proposing about 35 courses. So that's why instead of 3 weeks, the program will be expanding as high as 10 weekends. And please note that the program is just for Saturdays, all right? Okay, and like I said, for everyone attending this course, this particular fee here is a complete waiver. This is about $546 or $76 or thereabout. So IPM is completely taking off this cost. So that's why we say the program is free, all right? And also, since we're here, I will take the time to tell us about the fees from CIMC category. So you can also visit this website on your own and to confirm the information that are being shared here. So if you go to membership on CIMC, you find a fee structure. Now, apart from the training fee, if you actually wanted to get the certificate from CIMC, that's without this partnership, these are the possible fees you would have been paying. So if you were to pay for the certification, that would have been $480. If you were to pay for associates, that would have been $280. If you were to pay for fellowship, that would have been $350. So if you calculate everything you would have spent in this course is roughly about $1,400. That's roughly about 700,000 naira. But with this particular partnership, serving as a chartered center for CIMC here in Nigeria, there are so many other opportunities, several discounts. So from about 700,000, those who are interested in certifications could be paying as low as 95,000 for associates and as low as 142,800 naira for, 500 naira rather, for senior certifications, right? Okay, nonetheless, that's not really what brought me here. What brought me here is to show us the content of this program so that we can advance. All right. Okay, so let me get back to my slide. and then let's push as fast as we can. Okay, so overview of consulting. Overview of consulting. Consulting has been in existence as far back as the 18th century, right from the days of Henry Ford to the days of Abraham Lincoln, Peter Drucker, and all of them. So consulting has been as old as management itself, right? It has been as old as business, right? So it is not really something new, but there had been some things coming up, innovations, disruptions that have made consulting a really valuable thing to engage in. Before now, consulting has not really had a very serious consideration, especially for young people and for career persons. But in recent time, just a matter of what happened within the COVID period, a good number of companies have resulted to using consulting firms as consulting gets to do with people not really visiting or coming to work in a sit-down location, but they could work from different locations and still deliver value. All right. So technology, innovations, disruptions, pandemic, and all of that have given consulting a whole new face that all of us are now taking consulting as a very serious career. As of 2018, consulting was valued globally at about $256 billion. That's general consulting contribution to the global economy, about $256 billion dollars, right? Now, as of 2020, that amount went 10 times. So the consulting industry alone ran into trillions of dollars. All right. So for anyone who has interest in picking a career in consulting, if you have your definitions well and you have your clarifications right, and you have all the requirements to push, you could be on a path for a very great career. Okay. As of 2018, globally consultants were earning about $100,000. That's for the associate consultants, while the senior consultants were earning well over $500,000, right? That's on a global scale. As of 2020, obviously, that also increased as many consultants get to find themselves doing more than enough work, right? There were excess work available for consultants to do as of 2020. And 2021 had also brought a very good environment for consultants to really thrive in, all right? So consulting, as it were, is a very lucrative thing for those of us who find it really, really attractive. And there is a very beautiful career in consulting, all right? Apart from the respect and honor that comes with consulting, there's actually a very wonderful opportunity in consulting. Like I always say jokingly, I always say that a consultant, what a consultant could earn in a consulting could be more than what a company pays their staff in a whole month. So let's say a company has 10 staff and they are inviting you to consult for them, either on a technical issue, operations issue, finance, management, or whatever. And consulting charges could actually be as high as the total fee of the staff salary for that month, right? So your assignment, therefore, is to increase the number of engagements of your consulting assignments. All right, so the higher your consulting engagements, the higher your fees. And some consultants sometimes get to be redundant about consulting. So maybe when someone for the first quarter, you made about maybe 200 or 300 million. So you get to relax, but that's not supposed to be so. Your passion, your drive need to be consistent at all times. And we all need to understand that our priority is to consistently deliver value. So it's not necessarily about the money we're making, but rather it's about the value we are out to create. So we must constantly and consistently deliver that value. All right, so let's see what we have here and see how we can get something out of it. So what is management consulting all about? Management consulting is the practice, of course, it's a practice of helping organizations. It's a practice of helping organizations to improve their performance. Okay, so that's basically what we do as consultants, helping organizations improve their performance. Okay, so performance is a relative word. So performance could be in revenue generation, it could be in customer service, it could be in marketing, it could be in productivity. But at the end of the day, all we want to do is help them maximize profits, right? That is all we want to do. All right, so organizations may draw upon the services of management consultants for a number of reasons, including gaining external and presumably objective advice and access to consultants' specialized expertise. So the key word there about consulting is that there must be some level of expertise by the consultants. All right, so there must be some areas of specialization a consultant will choose to focus on. Okay, so as a consultant, you can't do everything. There must be some areas you have to focus on, areas of expertise. There could be technical expertise, there could be functional expertise, project management expertise, IT expertise, or whatsoever be the case. All right, but there must be an area of expertise. All right, and one of the things we want to do in consulting is actually to commoditize our value as consultant and be able to sell it out. Right, that's one of what we want to do. All right, so this statement of management consultant is to help organizations improve performance is very, very important. So that's your number one value proposition. Number one value proposition of every consultant is to help organizations improve performance, irrespective of the area you want to consult in. So you just have to make sure that you are delivering value, and that value is essentially about improving performance. And you're going to improve the performance based on your level of expertise, experience, and background. All right. Now, looking at the different sides of consulting, we have the management consulting, we have the finance consulting, strategy consulting, IT consulting, HR consulting, operations consulting, and other forms of consulting. So you just have to find out which area your skills lie. So during the breakout sessions, one of the things we'll be looking at is analysis. So self-assessment and analysis. We all get to analyze ourselves and then decide which area of consulting will be best for our competencies and backgrounds and experiences as well. So what do management consultants really do? Management consultants work with businesses to improve their performance by providing expert advice to solve problems and encourage growth. So they work with businesses across a wide range of sectors, including business strategy, finance, HR, marketing. It's not just private firms. Many public institutions use management consulting as well to improve on whatever thing they are doing, right? So it's not just about private sector. Public sector also use consultants, right? So the whole essence is to improve their practice and also improve their efficiency. So that is very, very important to know. And as consultants, we should be open to both the private and public sectors, right? So we shouldn't have segregation, all right? We shouldn't have segregation. So that's very, very important for us to know. Now, if you could actually categorize the work of management consultants, they are either dealing with functional expertise and specializations, or they are dealing with objective analysis and assessment, or they are dealing with project management. So that last one of project management, to me, I always recommend that management consultants should always ensure that they improve on their project management skills. That's very, very important, right? Everything we do in business is all about projects. We just need to understand that. So HR is all about project. Finance is all about project. Customer service is all about project. So understanding the concept of project management could go a long way in positioning us strategically for better assignments and better opportunities as management consultants. So that will help, all right? Now, what's the scope of management consulting? The first thing is problem definition, and the second thing is approach. The third is data gathering. The fourth is data analytics, and the next is advice, and then we'll have implementations. On problem definition, all we want to do is find out the problem that we want to solve. Okay, then the approach defines the research approach that we'll use. And then the data gathering also defines the way we get information. Then the data analysis will help us to justify whether the information we have will provide us with enough background to solve the problem or to provide advice on solving the problem. Then after we might have assessed all the information or analyzed all the information, then we can now advise our clients on what is likely to do regarding the problem. Then it is left for the clients to implement the advice. Okay, all right. Now, there is always this misconception that if you are coming in as a consultant, automatically you just have to quit your job and stay alone, and maybe you become an entrepreneur, and then some people still find it difficult to believe that organizations actually hire consultants and pay them and keep them internally. So as regards to consulting career, it could be in internal dimensions or external dimensions. In the internal dimensions, the organizations have to hire the staff and then keep them, right? So that could become a paid career, right? Then on the, or perhaps salary career, right? Or consulting. Then on the external dimensions, we have those external consultants, of which some of us are external consultants, and then we approach organizations, try to find the business gaps that exist in their businesses and try to provide solutions. So consulting as a career could be on the internal basis or external basis. I remember in one of the classics, someone asked the question, said, can you be a consultant in your organization? And the answer is yes, all right? The answer is yes. Dependent on how your organization views consulting, right? So if your organization considers consulting as something that requires an office and should be kept as a permanent work, so why not? They will specifically recruit and then pay you for it. It's quite unfortunate that on the African side, we consider consulting as a title. So when you say consultant, it's more of a title than a responsibility, which is not supposed to be so. Okay, consulting on its own has its own responsibilities and requirements, all right? So it's not a title, it's a bundle of responsibilities, it's a bundle of specializations, it's a bundle of functions, it's a bundle of duties, all right? So it's not a title, right? Like some people always come, when you say nomination for chartered management consultant, some people feel like it's a title. It's not a title, it's a whole lot of responsibilities. So by the time we are done with this class, we'll understand more what consulting is all about and then why it is a whole bunch of work, right? So management consulting is often the first step that leads down extraordinary paths for those of us that choose to go that path. Our work is transformative. Industry leaders and disruptors come to us to help them solve their most critical challenges and make their most important decisions. That experience accelerates your career and opens the door to a world of opportunities. So consulting opens us to a world of opportunities, all right? Consulting opens us to a world of opportunity. Okay, so quickly, let's look at the responsibilities of a consultant. So what are the responsibilities of a management consultant? As a management consultant, you will need to carry out research and data collection to understand the organization. Then you also need to conduct analysis. You need to interview clients, employees, manage team, and other stakeholders. You need to run focus group and facilitate workshop, which are all projectized. All of these things we're saying, they are all projectized. So you need an in-depth understanding of project management and how it works for you to be an effective consultant, all right? Okay, your responsibility also involves preparing business proposals and presentations, identify issues and form hypotheses and solutions, present findings and recommendations to clients, implement recommendations or solutions, and ensure the client receive the necessary assistance to carry it all out. They manage projects and programs, lead and manage those within the team, including analysts. Then liaise with the client to help them, liaise with clients to keep them informed of progress and to make relevant decisions. These are just a few of what will be required of you as a consultant. Now, during your induction, you will sign code of ethics, right? And those code of ethics include some of these things that have been listed here that you will do, and they are important for us to understand and then do the best practice, right? As chartered or certified management consultants, we are definitely telling our consultant or telling our clients that we are into best practice, best consulting practice. That's what inevitably we are telling them. So we just need to understand that and then make sure we pick up our responsibilities and then keep the titles aside, and that will help us in carrying out our work effectively and efficiently. Now, what do you expect? What to expect as a consultant, or what to expect in consultancy? Like I said, consulting is not a title. I've been privileged to meet with one or two institutes, and what they practically do is confer titles on people as consultants. That is not consulting. That is deceit of the highest order. So they take advantage of the gullibility of people who are just passionate about obtaining certificates, and they sell certificates and then titles follow. And those that get those titles, they don't even get to know what their work get to be or what to expect as consultant. They don't even know what consulting really means. They just came, collected a certificate, and then went on their way, and they get to post it everywhere, post it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, add it to their portfolios, and then when there are opportunities to really utilize the real work of a consultant, it gets to become difficult. So what do you expect as in management consulting? Because this will also guide you as to decide whether you really want to become a management consultant by practice or not. All right. So consultancy involves a high level of responsibility and pressure. There can be some stress as there will be tough targets and tight deadlines to meet. This thing boils down to being able to projectize your career. All right. Consultant can spend considerable time traveling between client sites. So consulting could actually allow you less time to stay with your family and the ones you love. All right. I remember my first adventure as a consultant. I travel basically every day. Every day I'm on the road. So I was working with an oil and gas consulting firm, and the schedule of my work was like, okay, I would travel on Thursday, just listen to it was a really wonderful experience. I loved it. Okay, but the truth was that I didn't have time for my family, all right? Thank God then I was a bachelor, so I didn't really have much quarrels with anybody. So I travel on Thursday. Friday, I get to be in the location where I'm going to consult for whatever I'm going to consult for. And Saturday, Sunday is my major consulting days. Monday, Tuesday is my reporting days. Wednesday is my resting day. So Thursday, I get to hit the road again. So basically, out of 7 days, I only had 1 day. And even that Wednesday, you still find yourself packing your bags again because you need to prepare for the Thursday. And you need to get your dry cleaner to go take your clothes, wash, iron, and then make sure if it is flight, make sure you book your flight. If it is road transport, make sure you have everything fixed. Then you sleep with your one eyes open because you have to leave as early as possible, dependent on where you're going to. And then you hit the road again, get to the place on Friday. Get to the place on Thursday. Friday, you get to meet with the client, have your first initial meeting. Saturday, you have the full consulting. Saturday, Sunday, you have the full consulting. Monday, you start your reporting. Tuesday, you submit your report. Wednesday, you get back to your house, rest a bit, call your dry cleaner again, query him for not returning your clothes you submitted last weekend and all of that. And it was really a wonderful thing. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who has faced this kind of experience. There are so many of us here who are currently in this same experience. All right. So consulting is always time demanding. Okay. It's always time demanding. No matter the kind of consulting you are into, whether it is construction consulting, whether it is career consulting, whichever consulting, if you're really doing a full-time consulting work, mine is a time-consuming assignment. All right. Then another thing you expect is that work can be carried out on an international level with many client organizations having offices overseas. This can provide opportunities for travel and work abroad. Okay. There was this consulting firm, the CEO attended the last section. And after the section, she was discussing with me on the opportunities that her company presents. Okay. She said the company, every staff gets to have at least, after 3 years, you have 3 slots to travel abroad. All right. So after 3 years, you get to be confirmed. In that 3 years, you get to travel. Every year, you get to travel to any country of your choice. They process your visa, do everything. You go, come back after 1 month or so. I'm like, wow, that's really awesome. So, and they also have clients all around the world. So you get to travel as much as you can. All right, you get to travel as much as you can. So if you get to meet a consulting firm that is internationally connected, take for instance KPMG, EY, take for instance McKinsey, take for instance PwC, you get to travel wide, right? You get to travel wide, all right? And most of us that find ourselves in oil and gas consulting firms, wow, you're always on the road. Okay, you're always on the road. All right, consultancy firms have a strong commitment to diversity, all right? So that's also something to expect. So just know that you have a wide range of people to deal with, not just you, okay? If your company happens to be an international consulting firm, you have to meet with international breeds and brands. And that's why, as a management consultant, your positioning, your personal branding and brand leadership should be on international positioning, not just on a national or local perspective, right? I trust you get what I'm trying to make. All right, so your positioning should be on international scale, because if you well position yourself on international scale, it provides room for easy justification as to your easy adoption to diversity. All right. While I encourage consultants to get certifications locally, I also encourage them to get certifications internationally. All right, because international certifications gives that appraisal of openness to diversity. All right, openness to diversity. So for those of us that could have gotten several certifications in consulting, adding a certification outside of your host country or outside of your nation could make a whole lot of difference. And also getting to be chartered or licensed across board, it gives you a whole lot of opportunities, all right? So you're chartered as a management consultant, not just in your country, but you're also chartered as a management consultant across other countries. It gives you a whole lot of benefits, all right? As, like I said, it makes your potential employers or clients to feel like you actually an international consultant. Of course, whenever we are consulting, we always submit our profiles. And that profile means a lot. Your profile can either qualify or disqualify you from taking up a consulting advantage. All right. So that's very, very important for us to open up to diversity. All right. We just need to pay attention to that. Then another thing we also need to pay attention to is that self-employment is an option after you've spent a long time in conventional corporate salary positions and have acquired significant knowledge of the marketplace and or industry. So consultants tend to become much more independent, right? They work much more independent. And after you might have gotten several experiences, it's also inevitable that you get to retire as a consultant. And one thing with consulting is that consulting doesn't have a retirement age. So at 100, you can still be consulting if you are alive. At 150, if you're alive, you could still be consulting. So in fact, in consulting, it tends like the older you get and more updated your experience get to be, the higher your pay. So don't just retire from your workplace and just go and sit down. before you retire, try to start up a consulting. It helps quite a lot. And it helps your brain to work. It helps you keep updated with research and also get updated with information, right? So that's very, very important, all right? Okay, so I trust someone is getting something on this overview of consulting, all right? Now, what skills do we expect from consultants? You know, some of us have these skills, but we are not definite about whether we really have them or not. Some of them apply these skills involuntarily, conventionally, and unconventionally. But they are there, right? So the number one skill is the ability to work as part of a team. So you must be open to working as a part of a team. Then you have your interpersonal communication skills, both oral and written. So exclusively, you have to have some kind of practical executive leadership skills. All right. So as a consultant, you have to have some form of practical executive leadership skills to be able to operate effectively. Then as a management consultant, creativity and innovation, actually they are your foundation. Foundation of consulting lies on how creative and how innovative you could be, right? Then problem solving and strategic planning abilities, then analytical skills, flexibility. So the flexibility will inculcate diversity, all right? And then I will have the ability to cope with pressure and challenges. They'll have commercial awareness and understanding of business environment. I tell this to every consultant. Every consultant must have a schedule of workshops, seminars, and conferences they must attend. If not every month, but every quarter. Why are you doing so? To get more updates on business environment, trends, right? So you just get to be updated. Every consultant need to be subscribed to certain magazines, consulting magazines, so that you also get to be updated. Now, importantly, every consultant, if you're actually a consultant, you need to become a member of a professional body. You just need to become, because that what the professional body does is that it provides you updates on trends of events as a management consultant. So you just have to be a member of a professional body. I'm not just talking about those who give us titles. I'm talking about those who are really working as consultants. Okay, they provide you with updates in your specific career industry as a management consultant, and that helps you to think ahead. That helps you to become strategic in your positioning and in the things you do as a consultant, right? So that's very, very important. So as a consultant, you must invest in capacity development, whether you like it or not. You just have to invest in information. All right, you just have to invest in information. Some of us will need to subscribe to certain channels on YouTube, subscribe to certain channels on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, just to get feeds, get information that will help us as consultants. And that is very, very important. All right, that's very, very important. All right. Okay. Now, are you thinking of starting your own consulting firm? These are practically the things you need to consider. All right. These are practically the things you need to consider. Number one, what problems have you identified? That's the basis of consulting. There must be problems. Okay. There must be problems. And these problems are considered as opportunities. All right. And in our definition of the problem must be scalable enough to make a career for you. All right. It must be scalable enough for you. The people that need, or the people in that problem must be sizable enough for you to say you've actually found problem to solve. All right. For you to say you found problem to solve. Then another thing you must consider are your clients and your niche. So who are going to be your clients? You have to identify your clients. Who are they? What are they? What do they do? What makes them your client? You have to define them. And then you also have to identify your niche, your industry in particular. All right. You have to identify your industry in particular. All right. So that will help in understanding the whole of the business environment and the industry setup and all the likes. Then you also need to be sure of the solutions you're providing. Like, you have to be definite on the solutions you are providing. All right. So what are the solutions? You have to write all of them down and be sure that those solutions are really worth people's money, right? Worth people's money and time. And then another important thing you have to consider is your team, all right? Your team. Most consultants don't really get to pay attention to team. Maybe they feel it's just me, myself, and I. If you really want to start a consulting, then you must have a very good team, all right? You have very good partners, right, to help you with your work, all right? And then another thing are your strategies. You have to be strategic enough, and then you must have very good strategies. You consider your strategies as to operations, marketing, um, engagement, your strategies as to team management or HR management, finance, and all of that. You have to consider your strategies, and your strategies must be strategic enough. And then you must have a business plan. All right, you must have a business plan. And then from that, you also need to have licenses, certifications, and memberships. It's not as though licenses, certifications, and memberships are compulsory, but like I said, they give you more positioning than just coming out without any license, without any certification, and without any membership. So to make sure that you are well positioned, it's good you have your licenses before you start. It's good you have your certifications before you start. It's good you have your memberships before you start. And should you have started and you don't have them, it's good you get to start having them, all right? Get to start. They will cost you money, that's right, but they will pay you at the end of the day, okay? They will pay you more than having to be without having them, all right? And it will give some kind of positive perception by clients towards you, all right? It gives you better brand leadership and all of that. So it's important that we get to have our licenses, have our certifications, and have our memberships, right? Okay, then this I'm going to say a step part of strategies, how to launch. More of what you will possibly consider now, because most people, when they want to start consulting, one of their major issue is always office, right? So you want to hire or rent an office and then put ACs, make sure that everywhere is well lit, and then buy furniture and all of that. In the present era we are, that's not really the case, all right? So more of what you need right now is going digital. So you could do digital consulting positioning, right? So possibly what you now need is get to have a very good digital strategy, talking about having to have your website and then having to have your social media handles, then look at your digital marketing strategy, right? That will be a more profitable adventure and less expensive adventure to kickstarting your consulting business, all right? And just as it is in our custom in IPM, we always make sure that for as many people that want to go into consulting, is as far as you're a member, not even as soon as you're trained with IPM, we always receive our updates on trainings coming up, upcoming trainings in different capacities, most of which are free, all right? So as you have your certification, you keep updating yourself, all right? And part of those things that will be taught is on digital marketing, digital positioning, and all of that. All right, so this is more of what we have as an overview this morning. So thank you for taking the time to listen to me.